random games on Tuesday night, and one of the players that you would have not have expected to break that record, Bam Adebayo. He did it. He broke the record of Kobe Bryant's 81 points with 83 points. So we're going to talk about that, and maybe touch on a couple of other things as well. This is Ballin Out. Sean, Nate, and Grant back with you guys for another episode. Like I said, today's episode is mainly going to be about just Bam Adebayo and him going crazy on Tuesday. 83 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 20 field goals, 7 threes, and 36 free throws. So I'm sure this is going to be a great conversation. Grant said he's got a hot take. I'm so ready to hear that. But I also got something as well. I think that's going to counter it. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening here. But yeah, so the Heat, they played the Washington Wizards on Tuesday night, and the Wizards got exposed badly. Bam Adebayo had a career night, like I said, 83 points, broke the record. It's now Wilt, Bam, and Kobe Bryant. Let me get just you guys' thoughts before we get too much into it on his performance and how he got it done.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, just to start off before we really get into it, yeah, I give him credit at the end of the day. I mean, 83 points, regardless of what it is, doesn't matter what league it's in, honestly. It's like that's a lot of points. That's impressive. So first off, of course, tip of the cap to him, but well, I'll get into a lot more here just a little bit after Nate.
Yeah. What's that one meme where he's sitting back and his hands are up? He's like,
Absolute cinema.
yeah, yeah.
Cinema.
No, I mean, obviously, what you said, it's been 20 years. I don't think anyone expected Kobe's record to get broken, let alone by Bam. But still, it's for it being a random Tuesday night. That's awesome, honestly. Like, Sean, you had sent us a message saying that Bam was going crazy and had like 60, and I immediately had to go tune in a little bit. And then when I saw the score, like, I didn't think it was going to be super close, but towards the end of the game, too, when it was getting a little bit more sloppy, obviously they were kind of intentionally fouling and missing some free throws on purpose. Maybe it's not necessarily the exact way that you would want someone to break the record, but regardless, like you said, 83 points is still 83 points. So it's pretty cool to see at least. I feel like we've been talking about Kobe's record ever since it happened, and I don't think anyone could have guessed that it would have been broken this year.
Not by Bam. I didn't think it would have
Yeah.
been broken by Bam, at least. It's crazy the way that it did happen. We'll get into it. But again, they're playing the Washington Wizards, who, bottom of the league. We've talked about it, even though they made those trades or whatever for Trae Young and Anthony Davis. Obviously, clearly Bam had this game circled on his schedule and said, yeah, let me go crazy. But Tyler Hero was out, Norman Powell was out, Khalil Ware was out, Andrew Wiggins was out. So basically, it was Bam Adebayo and Hami Jaquez out there hooping. And once if you score 30 in a quarter, I mean, we talked about it, a couple weeks ago, All-Star break when Kawhi, went crazy and dropped 32 in a quarter. I mean, this is kind of that same thing. So you guys gotta continue to feed the hot hand. And yeah, like I said, like you said, texted, said, hey, he got 60 points. And I was like, shoot, I tuned in myself. And man, the end of the game when I did tune in, it was kind of just, free throws and everything, which we'll get to here in a second. But I mean, like you said, 83 points is not easy. Despite what Draymond might say, anybody can score 83 points. Anybody cannot score 83 points. Because if that was the case, then this record would have been broken a while ago. But let me just, I guess the free throws, 36, 43 free throw attempts. 43 was the most attempts in any for a single player in a game. What's you guys' thoughts about that? Just him going to the line a lot.
Well, I mean, the two things to start off with. Wizards are ass. I mean, a whole lot of it too. My God. I mean, it's like two things can be true. It's like, yeah, you can respect Bam and say this. You can also say like what they were doing when Miami was fouling just to get the ball, but like stuff like you can say what you want about that, but like the Wizards just had like no plan for him really. They kind of just didn't care. Like anytime you got the ball down low, whatnot, it was just you're hacking him as he goes up, and like at the end of the day, that's I mean, if you're Bam, yeah, you got to feast on that. So that's why, like in my opinion, I got here like that first half. If you, I forget what he finished, but it was like 40 or 50 or something. I forget what he had at halftime. I mean, he was cooking, and that was to the point where I mean, yeah, he was getting to the line, but he was still getting his buckets, from the field. I mean, it was just a field day. But then on the flip side, what I'm gonna say here is it's just embarrassing that Miami's fouling. there. I mean, intentionally missing free throws, only looking to get it to Bam when you're up by 20 points with, a minute and a half. Like a minute and a half when you're fouling. It's just like, is that really? I mean, I get it because the Heat fans were loving it. I mean, they were going nuts. I guess that place was incredibly loud. I watched like a video from someone, I think it was Bleacher Report or something, had a guy down there, and he's like, "It's so loud in this building." And so, it was like, obviously, yeah, it's cool, but I mean, just the way that it ended for me was like,
Well,
that's
that
not
that definitely probably them being at home probably helped just because like, obviously, the fans wanted to see him break the
yeah,
record.
and at the end
If
of the
they
day,
were on
yeah,
the road, I think the Wizards would have probably tried to stop it a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, they're still terrible. Like they had probably every single guy on the team try to guard him at one point, if not all at the same time. So I think, yeah, I mean, for his first half alone, I think it was like, yeah, 43 points or something like that. He was still getting to the basket super easy. So at some point they had to do something. But them being at home definitely made it easier, I think, for Bam to try to go for it more and Spoelstra to, like, leave him in the game just so that people could actually watch it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like, I can respect leaving them in, like, because the fans, they're going nuts and all that. What I can't respect is Miami fouling. I don't understand that. Miami fouling the Wizards with, like, a minute and a half left, just so they can get the ball back, just for a chance to chuck up 3 shots from Bam and then chuck it to him on a pass inside and go to the line. Like, that for me, that's where I draw the line where it's like, okay, yeah, like, don't get me wrong, it was one hell of a game. Obviously, tipping the cap to him. We're gonna subtract about 20 points. We'll take out 20. Take out 20 for in my opinion, like, that's just it's one of the better games we've seen. Still, at the end of the day, if you take out that last quarter, last half of that last quarter, like, for me, it's such a it makes me so mad that it was such a good game until, like, that very end too. Because like, at the end of the day, like you said, Sean, you wrote a good piece about it. It's like, when the Heat got that many guys out, when the Wizards don't wanna play a single NBA body for real, like, I mean, there was not great out there what the Wizards put out. It's like, what do you expect? I mean, at the end of the day, guy's gonna cook. But just again, my whole emphasis is like at that very, very end, when your home team is fouling just to get you the ball back, and he's chucking up double team 3 pointers, missing them. His teammates grabbing the rebound, dishing it back to him. It's just like that's a bit much.
Those are the teammates I want, though. I want my
Oh,
teammates to be
please.
intentionally missing free throws, saying, "Screw my stat line, I'm gonna get
Mhm.
my guy this record."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, no, Sean definitely wrote a nice little piece there, go check that out. But, I mean, you can't really blame the Heat too, because it's almost like
Oh, I can.
at what point
Mhm.
too? I mean, but,
Oh
like,
yeah.
they were already gonna win the game, so you might as well try to miss shit.
Yeah.
Well, at that point
And it
too, it's
got
like
hey, if I see a guy, he's going crazy, yeah, if he has a chance to break the record, might as well because like I said, this only happens once in a lifetime, You never know if you're gonna get this chance again, which you probably won't. I mean, Bam struggles to even get 25, 5, and 5 every night. For him to randomly get 83 points, yeah, I might yeah, go ahead, follow him and triple team him and try to, just shoot threes. So yeah, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like, this is only the one time you're gonna be able to do this, so it's like, go ahead.
I respect the go ahead. Like, yeah, I mean, I get it. As a player, yeah, for sure. But like someone sitting here, we're gonna talk about like the best games out there. Is that the way to get into history in my eyes?
Right.
I
No,
mean, I
there's
get like I
definitely
said, there's 2 sides to the coin because like you guys like it's a great argument, like 100%. I don't think anybody's necessarily right in this one. It's all just a matter of opinion. But it's like, yeah, you gotta give him some credit. I mean, and if I'm on his team too, like I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, go crazy, go break
Yeah.
it. But then just kinda looking like I say, like, in that moment, yeah, great moment, but, like, looking at bigger picture, like, when we're just talking about, like, just respecting it as, like, the fans, yeah, I still respect it. It's not like I'm like, "This guy's a bum," but I'm also
right.
like, You're not really the 2nd highest score." That's just I mean, trying that hard to do it, in my opinion, was just overkill. But I get it, like, I get it. just in my eyes, it's like, that's a bit much. But like you said, when is Bam ever gonna have a chance to go for 83 again? I mean, so it's like I totally respect and I get that for sure.
Yeah. I do wanna so this might lead because I know you got a hot take, Grant, but I do wanna
Yeah.
because we're talking about, intentionally fouling and stuff like this. So say what you want about, the Will Chamberlain 100-point game or whatever. I
Oh,
saw this after I published the article or whatnot, so I didn't put it in there. So I figured, I'll just go on air and say this. But the Philadelphia Warriors, they started doing the same thing. Once Wilt was close, they started intentionally fouling the Knicks, to ensure and, regain possession, stop the clock. Wilt had enough time to, reach that 100 points. I mean, if the Heat was doing it, you can't blame them because the Warriors was doing the same thing for Wilt. And say what you want, there's no game footage or anything like that, but I say like, hey, if Bam scored 83, I definitely all right. I applaud Will Chamberlain. I believe it's real now, even though there's no game footage. I believe it's real because yeah, come on now, he was playing
see,
against what
oh,
much worse
yeah.
competition too.
See, also, I perfectly said, Wilt's a fraud too. The reason we don't have any film from that is because nobody wants to watch some team intentionally fouling the whole time. I didn't want to watch the end of that game. I turned it off. I said, I'll see what he gets. Honestly, it's the same way for me. Like Wilt, I obviously respect Wilt too, of course, but like, do we really count that 100-point game? In my eyes, it was always Kobe, like 81. Like that was like the number. Like, yeah, if you get to 100, it's just cool to get to 100, but like Wilt did it when you could literally goaltend your own teammates' shots into the hoop, like, that's a whole nother conversation. I won't even get into that, but I get what you're saying. No, but real quick, let me get into my hot take then, if you don't mind, because it wasn't really necessarily about that. It's really more about I was talking about history type of games. Like, yeah, Bams will go down in history, but I think not necessarily an asterisk, but it gets talked about. It'll get talked about for a while, and then people will forget that it was fouls at the end, and that's just how it goes. But one thing too I want to point out, like we just look at all these games, like I could point out a couple games, but like one in particular, it's your boy on the Clippers right now, or it was on the Clippers, I should say, on the Cavs. James Harden, like I think we got to talk about his like that right
Mm,
there, like his 60-point triple double, that 60 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists against who was it against the Magic? Like that game in my eyes clears Bam's game,
mm,
and I
mm.
mean that very respectfully, but that clears in my eyes. If you look at it, it's 90-88 going into the fourth quarter of that game. Like that's an actual fight right there. I mean, edge out a 7-point victory. Guys got 60 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. Like that right there, taking that over Bam. I'm still taking Kobe's game over Bam as well. We're just talking about historically. Just because at the end of the day, Kobe's team, yeah, you could say at the very, very end, but that was after he willed his team like back into the game because they were down by a little bit. I mean, and then he just went crazy. And they were still keeping up for a while. Then just at the very end, I mean, he just went nuclear. And by that point, they still took him out with 50 seconds or whatever it was after he got to 81.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, my whole hot take is like, yes, we can respect it, but I can also say, like, in my mind, I'm not putting that up there with the greatest like performances out there. Like, I don't even have Wilts up there though. That's my whole thing. Is like, I don't know. I haven't really dove deep into it like that. Say who's number one. But in my opinion, like that James Harden 60-point triple double, that Embiid I think dropped 7. No, who drops?
Yeah, he dropped
Yeah.
70. Yeah.
Yeah, him and Luca, I believe, dropped 70, like stuff like that. So it's like I can respect those games a little bit more, and I'm gonna put those higher. And that's what my hot take is because I think we can get caught up in these numbers and stuff, but it's just like, and it's great. It's great, like in the moment, I'm saying, but over time, historically speaking, I think some of these games we need to start talking about more, like the Harden game, and stuff like that. I'm talking about, because yeah, I mean, it's nice when some guy puts up 83, but it's not fun to watch when they're fouling to do it the whole entire time and he's just shooting free throws.
Mm,
Yeah. I saw stuff even about like Klay Thompson's games where he dropped 60, had 11 dribbles, like games like that where he didn't even play the fourth quarter. And,
Hmm.
it's always left to, how many could he have gotten? So I definitely, yeah, I like that in the sense of like how he got to the points definitely matters in the grand scheme of like how hard was it for him. I think one thing too, like now that you look at the actual record list, is Bam going to be one of those like automatic Hall of Famers now just because he has an 83 point, like second on the list? Like, because you look at the top 10 of point scorers and every single one of them is probably going to be a Hall of Famer. But then time will tell. But right now, it is like a look like we were saying, like there's nights where he does not look like he is a scorer like that. So it's probably gonna be a dependent on how the rest of his career goes, obviously. But it's is this gonna be something that just automatically boosts his career like 10% just because he had this one night against the Wizards who have 6 wins?
Well, who knows? Well, where he might be right. You remember he had a top 4 all time? You say, "You know what? Give me Bam."
That is Mount Rushmore, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. Like, it definitely is like there was more memorable games just in the history, of the NBA, that were probably don't get talked enough about or, don't get enough like recognition as opposed to like, this game. I honestly I mean, we get to the end of the season here in a month. Is anybody gonna remember this game? Probably not. Next year when we're starting up again, and nobody's probably going to remember this game. But I think it's definitely like, yeah, it's history, but like at the same time, yeah, maybe it wasn't because of the way it ended, because of the way he was shooting free throws and everything like that. Maybe it, isn't as high on the list, like you were saying, as like these other guys. I mean, because like Devin Booker, he dropped 70 points, the team lost. I don't hear anybody talking about that game anymore, and that
yeah,
was, that was young D Book. Donovan Mitchell, it was either last year or the year before. I mean, he dropped 71, nobody talks about that game. So I think it's just, it, I don't know exactly like what it is. I won't say like just like fatigue, but I guess it's just the style of the game that's, how it's played today, how these guys get the points. Steph Curry, jacks up 12 threes, and then, gets a couple layups here and there, drops, 70 points or 80 points. Okay, that game maybe, talked about a little bit more, remembered a little bit more, but um this game, yeah, I mean, because of the free throws and how many he took and how many times he went to the line in the end of the game might not be talked about a lot. So, no, I see what you're saying. I don't hate the
Well,
take.
yeah, you had a good point too, because I think so many people do view Kobe's record as like the record. There's so much
because Wilt was a
speculation
fraud.
about yeah, there's so much speculation about that. So I think because he passed Kobe, it's going to be talked about more than if he would have just gotten 78 or
Yeah,
what, like
say yeah.
just under
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So, because so many guys, I mean, us growing up, like we grew up watching Kobe, and we knew like how big of a star he was throughout his whole career, and to see Bam, who's obviously he's an all-star, he's on the Olympic team, all this stuff, but he's not like if it was Wemby or Luca or Shea or whoever it might have been. But yeah, I think the Kobe part is a big thing that I've been seeing just because so many people are like, he should have stopped right at 81 or like 80, like right before he should have
Mhm.
sat out, like for respect to Kobe. But at the same time, too, you can't blame the man for going for 83. But I agree. I don't think when you look back at it, people will go like that game was better than Kobe's.
Yeah, like, it's like and with the NBA now, like, it's a little different just because I mean, so many people also dropping, like, 50, 60. You might see, obviously, a 70s pretty rare, but, like, you see, like, 60s, 50s, a decent amount. It's like, those just don't really get talked about so much, and the fact that, like, I think a lot of people, like I was kinda saying, yeah, like, Kobe's record was, like, that was one of the more just kind of, let's say, more modern day when Will was doing it, obviously, too, besides just how he did and everything, just NBA was way different. I mean, no commentators alive, I don't think really even saw that. Like, what are we talking about, right?
No.
It's like, I mean, just like that.
Converse.
Yeah, Converse was the brand back then. I mean, just like different times too. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of factors, but one other thing too you mentioned, like, like should they have subbed him out? Like for his record, like if he gets to 80, take him out. Like, no, 'cause at the end of the day, it's like you can't do that. But like my whole thing was just like, just go get the bucket, like ethically. Like that was I think the last 2 minutes, unethical hoops. It just wasn't. Like it didn't. But the whole beginning, I can't say I can't. You get to the free throw line, but that's because the Wizards have nobody out there. You're being aggressive. You're actually doing your job. It's like that's tough. But at the very end of it, unethical, unethical. Yeah, I mean, I know that word's been flying around left and right, so I had to add that
Yeah,
one.
it has. It has. Yeah, no. I mean that's what basically everybody was saying, like on Tuesday night was hilarious, especially after it
Oh, it was
happened
a movie.
because everybody, all of a sudden, you see this bam, bam, bam. Then all of a sudden, Tatum comes out of nowhere and he's like, Tatum would have texted Kobe and been like,
Dude, he
I'm right here.
subbed myself out for you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness. Oh,
Yeah.
some good stuff. We got the Bamba mentality now, the Bamba mentality. It's like, dude, I mean, all this, it was a good night. It's been a good week so far for NBA.
Man, I mean, that same night too, Jalen Brown got ejected and then went straight to Twitter, talking about this. This is what I'm talking about.
He's
Crazy.
tweeting
Yeah,
during
on
the
top
game.
of yeah, NFL, Max Crosby, his trade gets rescinded.
Yeah.
So, like, add that on top of that, and it was just, yeah, Tuesday night was just one of the most random sports days in history that we're gonna remember just of all this stuff that was happening. Yeah, no, it
Oh,
was crazy.
yeah, and then there was a point guard too, a small little point guard,
Campaign.
whatever. Yeah, dropped like what, 30, 32,
Yeah, 30
30
got I think it was like 35, yeah, but, like, he was,
or
like, one of
35.
the
Yeah,
first, bench players to go crazy like that in a while, so
yeah. He's like, "Yeah, you can't take this night away from me, Bam." That was awesome, though.
yeah, yeah, no, so Tuesday, March 11th, or excuse me, March 10th, 2026 is, definitely gonna go down one of those days we'll, be seeing on social media here in a couple of years, you remember that this
Yeah,
happened and, this happens. Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, it was you can say what you want, it was unethical the way it happened, the way it ended. At the end of the day, you gotta respect it, because like I said, 83 points, it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, right? It would have been shorter than 20 years gap, for it to happen. So
Well, and if it was actually like a wire to wire game, I think you would have had more people respect it because even after the game, you had Wemby, you had Kelly Oubre, these guys who are in the league playing, and they're like, "Oh, well, Joel Embiid did it more efficiently, or I don't really have an opinion. It's a lot of free throws. Like all these people around the league are like kind of downplaying it. And I think that is because the way that it kind of ended just left a little bit of a sour taste for some of the people for how you would want achievement like that to be reached. But
yeah, yeah.
it
Nah, I
is
saw
just
Ime
tough because it's
Udoka said something too, about it, just how it ended. JJ Redick. So yeah, no, former players, current players, coaches, yeah, they weren't too happy about the ending of that game.
no,
yeah,
shout out Bam
it's
though.
just yeah. Hey, shut up. I mean, that's a mad respect. At the end of the day, I'll call it unethical, I'll dog them, but all that for a little bit. Like that's a that's impressive nonetheless. Another soul besides Wilt did that. So I mean, you gotta hang your head high on that one.
True, true. Well, at least we got game footage for this game, So unlike
Yeah,
Wilt's,
we can't watch. Yeah, a lot of
Bam
free
and
throws
Kobe
watch,
got
but
footage. Well, yeah, that footage has still not existed. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, outside of the Bam stuff, I mean, there's been some other crazy stuff that have happened, this week. Shea Gilgeous Alexander. I mean, just the ending of that Denver Nuggets Thunder game was kind of crazy. It was back and forth game the whole time. Shea thought he hit the game winner, and then all of a sudden, Jokic hits a three, and Jalen Williams pushed Jamal Murray, so that gave him, an extra point, 4-point play. Shea comes back down, and hits a step back, hits the deuces with him. Peace out. That was game. I have to say that now that if you want to talk about ethical, Grant, that was ethical right there. In addition
very
to,
ethical,
my boy Kawhi Leonard last night going crazy, 45 points. I think he only missed like 3 shots. That
very
right there, if
ethical.
we want to talk about ethical,
Yeah,
that is an
very
ethical game.
ethical. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would agree. I won't even dog on your guy. I'll give him credit. I mean, I always give Kawhi credit when it's due. Kawhi's a
true.
dog. He just needs to play more. He'd be one of my favorite players if he actually played. He's one of the guys that actually locks up on defense and just still hits the midi. I mean, I
Yeah.
should like him on paper. I should like the guy. He just also, I mean, plays for the Clippers for one, and he doesn't play when he, plays for the Clippers. So it's kind of tough.
Yeah, he
Nah,
he
I
got me
feel
them fantasy points though. He racked up
Oh
them
yeah,
fantasy
right,
points.
dude. Yeah,
Uh, no, Shea though, I mean, we already know he's been having an insane year, but this was definitely one of those games. If he meets that 65 game threshold, I think it's probably, signed, sealed, and delivered for him to win that MVP. But shout out Jalen Williams too, because he's been playing out of his mind. I feel like for what he's been asked to do with Holmgren and iHeart being out, like he's been going off. Like I feel like every time they pass him the ball in the corner, he's making that three.
yeah.
top
He's
product right
playing for a
there. Shout
contract,
out.
but
Yeah.
I always just say Arkansas Razorback product. Got to shout him out right there. That's what we
oh
do.
yeah, yeah. Nah, bro is paying for a contract. I mean, in a minute, and I've seen some stuff too that they've said possibly like Isaiah Hartenstein, because he could possibly they could just let him go, because of what he's been doing this year. Jalen Williams. I could definitely, see that happening. The way he's been hooping this year. I mean, even like you said, Nate, he comes in. He's one of those guys where he comes in, you plug and play him, wherever he can be the main guy. I mean, we saw that against the Pistons a couple weeks ago where he dropped 30. Or it can be, a guy that just does the little things, and just stays open, stays ready.
Right.
He's definitely he's gonna get him a nice little payday this summer. Especially if they go back to back. And he plays a big part in that too. Yeah, he's gonna get paid.
Mhm.
He's definitely gonna get paid. Yeah, I mean that's another thing where the whole CBA comes in because I mean it's not relevant right now, but 2 years from now, maybe next year, that CBA for OKC is going to be, you're really going to have to make some decisions. Who's going to stay, who's going to go, and just because money, and plus they're a small market team too, so that doesn't help at all their case. But yeah, no, shout
Right.
out
I
J
like it
Dub.
though.
Oh yeah, shout out J Dub or not J Dub, J Will. And shout out just SGA, and the whole OKC team. And then yeah, did want to just real quick just talk about the Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. Remember that hot take I gave a couple, I think it was like a month ago? Yeah, that they were gonna get back to 500 and make the playoffs. Yeah, it's especially with the Warriors right now. The Warriors, I mean, I think they're out. I think the Warriors are done, especially with this, Curry stuff. They said he's gonna be out for another 10 days. So basically, I mean, and that's possibly, it's not even a for sure thing. So if he doesn't come back until let's say end of March, you got 9, 10 games left. I mean, it's that point, it's like, how much do you play him? If you want to still make the playoffs, play in, so nah, I think, the Clippers, they're trending in the right way. I like the Darius Garland, Kawhi, Ben Mathurin. I mean, they shocked me. I thought, when they made this trade, it was kind of going to be like, all right, we'll try to, make the plan. We'll try to, stay relevant, maybe not get to 500, but yeah, man, they're the first team in NBA history to start off that bad, 6-21, and get back to 500. So man, I mean, they've been one of the hottest teams since December, since Christmas when that turnaround happens. Yeah, shout out Ty Lue and Kawhi Leonard, man.
Yeah, you gotta give him credit. I mean, for like you said, how bad they started. That could almost kill your season. Even like if the players don't want it to be over, like upper management could just say, we're gonna try to get a top pick. Damn, he said deuce.
Yo, I'll be back.
But oh, you good. Clipper Nation, even if you get the eighth seed, you're still getting BTA against whoever you're playing in the
Oh,
playoffs. I'm sorry,
massive
but
beat.
hey, if
Yeah.
it is, I will say, if they face off against the Spurs, watch out because yes, the Spurs are insane, but if I with that little rivalry, playing against his old team, that would be fun to watch. Even if they only get like 1 or 2 games. I think you literally said it last time, Sean. He's gonna drop 40 the first game, and then if they make it to game 5 or 6, he's gonna drop 40 again.
Yep.
So
I can see it.
I think that'll be a good series. Just because like the Spurs are young, and I've seen a lot of people like, yes, obviously the Spurs are having a great season, but you talk about like contenders. I mean, you go back and look at like OKC, like you got to lose somewhere early in the playoffs. That's kind of, I mean, same thing with the Pistons. Last year, and why people are thinking like they can improve and go to the Eastern Conference Finals and things like. They had that one loss. You had that sour taste in your mouth, and then you bounce back. So, no, I think that could be a great series. Do I think that the Clippers are going to win? No, just because they have an 8-foot alien that they have to deal with that nobody can contain or anything. So that's a problem in itself. But yeah, outside of that, I think it'll be a great series. I hope it does end up happening. Hopefully, the Clippers win that first playing game so they can get that 7th seed. So that'll be great. Yeah, man. Shout out Clip Nation, man. Shout out Clip Nation. I'm hype again, hype getting ready for this playoff push. So I just hope that everyone stays healthy. I just hope that Kawhi Leonard stays healthy. Hope that Darius Garland stays healthy, because yeah, I mean what we're witnessing right now from Kawhi, I mean, this is his best offensive season, I mean, ever in his career. I mean, you could argue, Toronto, but I think offensively this season is better than Toronto, to be honest with you. Just looking at like at the numbers and game to game and stuff. That might be a hot take, but It's up
Yeah,
there.
that'd be a good one to debate. We should put that in the burners for some time.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'll wear 'em
I'll come with the Clippers one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. But yeah, man. Anything else y'all guys want to touch on for this week outside of what we already covered, already talked about?
I just want to say quickly, looking forward to March Madness, kind of shifting gears a little bit. We will be doing an episode on that once we get bracket all figured out. We'll probably be doing some Tuesday, we said, so that'll be fun. But yeah, looking forward. Hopefully our Spartan Dogs can go far this year. But yeah, a little nervous. But other than that, just ready for March, ready for golf, and yeah.
Man, yeah, ready for March.
Uh,
Oh, nice weather.
I was
Yeah.
laughing because I don't know, Sean, if you want to make any comments about Magic City night being canceled.
Because I was texting up. It was funny because Shane a couple weeks ago he texted me, my brother. He was like, "Yo," he's like, "Did they cancel that?" I was like, "Nah, they still got it on." And then all of a sudden, it was the day of this Monday. They were like, "Yeah, no, we're gonna nix that." Yeah, Blue Cornet, be on the lookout. When you go to Atlanta, that's all I gotta say. Luke,
That might have been a bigger story than Bam. I
yeah,
saw more people upset about that than Bam scoring 83.
Both
yeah.
unethical what they're doing. What the NBA is doing, unethical. Both of them. How they gonna ban that? Come on,
I
throw
saw
some
so
balls
many
at them,
people
Silver.
talking about, yeah, they were promoting, gambling and stuff and all this other stuff to kids, but yeah, we can't, celebrate the culture. That's messed up. I was like,
The
yeah,
culture.
I understand.
Yeah, I saw people. They're like, "Let's ban
Oh,
the Hawks. We're not gonna go to that game anymore. Let's just all go to Magic City and
Yeah.
you know
they probably are though. Yeah, Magic
hang
City's
out
probably
there."
their numbers are up.
Yeah. Man, that's the
No,
thing too. I
other
think
than
like
that, I don't really got.
I think, just last thing on Magic City, I think just like outsiders, like if you're not in Atlanta or like not hip to like NBA or anything, like, yeah, you don't know like what it is, like I mean, I only know what it is through like what I've seen like in interviews and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
what do you know about Magic City?
Yeah, I
Good
don't
wings.
gotta
They got good wings.
Yeah,
that's all I know. They got
we gotta do a pod at Magic City. Take a trip.
Yeah, let's go
hey,
experience it. Cause I heard they got good wings, and only that. I don't
Yeah,
know anything else.
yeah, the
So I don't
lemon
know why
pepper
the
wings for
NBA.
sure.
lemon pepper wings, yeah. I mean, it was so good. We had guys coming out of the quarantine, out of the bubble to go get
Hmm.
the food. So I mean, it's gotta be some. It's gotta be worth something to die for. So I mean, shoot, if you
Yeah,
risking,
and then
a
we
season like that, yeah, it's gotta be worth something.
can see if they got anything else there to offer. I don't know. Sure
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
but we'll see.
No, Draymond was calling it art, a pure form of art. I mean, shoot, he might be right. I haven't been there, but
My
might be right.
A
gosh,
pure form of art. Oh
I
my
didn't hear that.
gosh.
That's hilarious.
Nah, that's funny. Yeah, nah, so, who knows? Maybe they'll try again. Maybe they'll try again, to have a Magic City night or or something like that. Yeah, but I know, a lot of people were pissed about it, and upset that it didn't happen. Because I mean, they even had, like, hoodies and stuff like that, and it was like, "Dang, what they gonna do with all that merchandise? Send it to a third world country, and they just gonna be rocking something that says Magic
Yeah.
City on it?" You know? They
It's
can't
kind of
do nothing
touchless.
about it then. It's sitting in some storage facility now. It's gone to waste. Nah, if that does come, to you know, open to the public or something, I may purchase a jersey just to support, just support the cause.
Got it. Small business.
Exactly.
Yep.
Support small businesses. That's all we got for you guys today. Like Grant said, March Madness is around the corner, so we will be doing a March Madness our tournament and talk about all that stuff. We'll do our brackets next week, and then throughout the tournament, we'll be talking about winners and looking at the brackets, and yeah, hopefully the Spartans can get it done. Just I want to see the bracket, but just my hot take right now, I think we are a Sweet 16 Elite Eight team.
Oh yeah,
Outside of
for
that,
sure.
I don't think, we'll get pretty, not Final Four national championship just because I mean there's some teams that are stronger, but I think Sweet 16 is the floor, the ceiling is the Elite Eight. So hopefully, nothing happens. But yeah, we'll definitely, get more into that once the selection Sunday, once the brackets come out. Give our brackets and go through that and go through the whole tournament. But yeah, until then, we will catch you guys next time.